Hello and good evening. My name is David Dye, and I'm talking to you this evening in relation to my doctoral study project. I would like to do a comparison of veteran candidates for corporate job vacancies. Many times on the job site, I've heard, there's not enough employees out there in the job force or the job pool for critical positions to get filled. My background, I'm a 20-year retired Navy veteran, and I see from a different perspective than other people may at a corporate level that there's a wide variety of veteran candidates that can fulfill some of these highly needed, urgent positions for corporations. So I've set out to outline my study project. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll have some good feedback for me. So to begin, as I said, David Dye, student at Trident University. And what people may not know that 3.5 million new manufacturing positions are expected in the next 10 years. And subject matter experts are expecting that maybe 2 million of those job vacancies are going to remain unfilled. Studies have shown that military positions align with about 83% of those jobs. So, maybe we have a communication issue between corporations, or maybe an understanding issue as far as the skill sets that military veterans can bring. I would like to research that to see if we can bridge the gap between corporate HR and maybe try to identify some of the job skill sets military veterans bring to better align and maybe make a better situation for both parties involved. 45% of hiring managers are experiencing difficulty finding qualified candidates. That is as per CS Jones in 2018. And also on the other side of the line, the other side of the fence, veterans tend to blow their own chances at job employment on their own interviews. Maybe it's expectations leaving the military that don't quite align with the corporate culture. I think all these things would be something that a little bit more research into, again, could benefit most veterans going into the job force, leaving the military, as well as maybe corporations, again, looking for those type of people to fill hard to fill positions. So some of the research questions kind of touched on is to identify the key reasons why veterans and corporate human resources, HR, having difficulty communicating with each other. Um, Maybe try to categorize some of those hard to fill job vacancies and look at the wide variety of military veteran skill sets that are available in the marketplace that could align with those hard to fill jobs. And also, I'd like to find, what is it about veteran candidates that they tend to not do well in the corporate hiring process, and how can they better prepare themselves for that critical interview? Some of the literature that I will be reviewing for my DSP, the United States Department of Labor unemployment statistics with regards to veterans, Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment situation of veterans. Another one is Pew Research Center. They tend to do a lot of various research, but this particular category, how veterans and non-veterans fare in the U.S. job market. I mean, how do veterans stack up to civilians that perhaps come straight from college? And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is a great source of um, the possibly the divide that exists between corporate America and veteran candidates for employment. My methodology, one, I would try to look at case studies and develop some research background off of other studies that have been done to this point. I think some of the secondary data could form a good solid foundation to see if we really do have a veteran hiring problem. And if so, then formalize which direction to go from there. Um, I think talking to veterans with an individual interview, both veteran and civilian population, could provide some feedback on what civilians may perceive veterans um, bringing to the workplace, or what's good, what's bad, and as well as talking to veterans themselves in the hiring process to find out what worked for them or what's not working for them. Um, I would also like to interview some corporate hiring managers to see from I read resumes all day perspective, some of the job skills that may not be lining up from their perspective. I think a focus group could also serve a good purpose to talk to a group of veterans where maybe there's some collaboration based off of events and experiences that each one had going into the job market, and maybe determining if there was some shared experiences there. I would like to talk to corporate management, and again look at it from perhaps a CEO level or a vice president level as well as HR. So I think there could be a focus group there additionally. And I'd like to develop a survey that could be sent out to a controlled population of both military and civilians so we can get a better understanding of how they perhaps view veterans in the workplace, and hopefully not try to single out one category of the population versus, per se, just veterans or just civilians, but maybe try to see how they both view it within a survey criteria. Significance. Among the 326 unemployed veterans in 2018, nearly 60% were age 45 and over. 35% were between the ages of 25 and 44, and 6% were between the ages of 18 and 24. The reason I put this statistic there is because there could potentially be some underlying problems in or perceptions in the hiring process that a veteran that does a full retired pension at 20 or 30 years may be too old to enter the workplace. And I know we don't talk about age as it could be a discriminatory thing, but if this statistic holds true from the Department of Labor, then maybe there is something going on in the age bracket that needs to be identified. Um, 1 in 3 veterans identified with disabilities were hired in 2018 versus 1 in 5 veterans uh, hired without disability. So essentially, two additional uh, veterans that were disabled were hired over ones that weren't disabled. Well, why would that be? What are the advantages of hiring for a corporation a disabled veteran versus a veteran who's not disabled? Are there certain benefits from doing that? Um, so that's some of the significance to try to ascertain some of the causes of why veterans are or are not hired in the job place. Um, some of the references that I've used for this project to this point is one from Koch Industries, which is a solution for America's skills gap. This article study uh, specifically references filling job gaps with veterans, and how it has helped their business. The CNS Jones Group, the benefits of hiring veterans and overcoming obstacles to capitalize on the unique potential of former military personnel. And there certainly are some unique potentials of bringing on a very skilled workforce that is nearly ready with just a little bit of perhaps a little retraining. Um, Another one is from careerattraction.com. Congratulations on your military service. Now here are 9 reasons why I won't hire you. I think it's important that I try to represent both perspectives of veteran hiring, and this article was brutally truthful. Um, gave the reasoning behind why a veteran wouldn't be looked at twice by a hiring manager based on the interview or the initial read on that particular person. And lastly, again, I'm going to mention the Department of Labor because their statistics show all the unemployment numbers, both military and civilian, which I think is very critical to this DSP project. And that wraps up my presentation for why I'd like to do a little more research in veterans making that transition to corporate America and corporate America needing veterans to fulfill those critical vacancies. I look forward to any feedback that you have, and thank you for watching my video.